You are not going to believe what I've just discovered. A fact that you'll never see on mainstream media because it doesn't suit their agenda, and a fact that will frankly burst many hodlers' bubbles. Over 76% of hedge funds are selling Bitcoin. And no, this is not a clickbait. I've got clear evidence that they've been selling Bitcoin for weeks, right under everyone's noses. They're doing the complete opposite of what you have been led to believe, completely disregarding the media's narrative that Bitcoin is one of the best investments right now. So if you're on that boat of belief and you're still buying Bitcoin, keep watching. What's up traders, it's Marcus from Logic Effects, about to drop a bombshell that nobody's really talking about. Today I'm playing the devil's advocate. Sorry to all you moon-loving bandwagon junkies that believe buying the all-time highs and holding on for dear life is gonna make you rich far beyond belief because everybody else is doing it. You're most likely one of many sheep being led to the slaughterhouse. I genuinely hate to be the bearer of bad news, but the institutions are making plays behind the scenes that are the polar opposite of what the news outlets are feeding you. I'm sure all of you have heard that Elon has bought $1 billion worth of Bitcoin as of recent, and all attention has indicated that Elon's move is a bullish signal for the crypto space. But in reality, with Bitcoin prices dropping over 22.37% since Tesla making that purchase, there must be greater forces at play. So I decided to do a little digging and work out what has been going on. And after a few hours of skimming through some of my trading resources, I found all the answers inside the Commodities Futures and Trading Commission's report on current traders in financial futures. For those that don't know, the CFTC are essentially a US government department that report the trading activity globally on derivative markets. In other words, they're the guys behind the scenes who pretty much process all global transactions. And the report on current traders in financial futures does what it says on the tin. It records all the trade activity in the futures derivative market. And for those who say, but Marcus, crypto can't be tracked, I'm referring to the derivative positions here, which are still processed through two major exchanges, the Intercontinental Exchange, the ICE, and Chicago Mercantile Exchange, the CME, who pretty much have a duopoly over all financial exchanges. Now, the CFTC source all the data from those two exchanges and record things ranging from the type of client to the trading volume and the exact positions of pretty much every single trader in the market. They split these categories into a bunch of different participant types, from non-reportables, which is me and you, all the way to leverage funds, which is commonly known as hedge funds on the internet. These guys are really who push the price around. Now, this report is very powerful indeed. It pretty much tells you the directional bias of all hedge funds trading particular assets that the CFTC tracks. This is the closest thing you and I will ever get to true order flow without being classified as insider trading. There are thousands of uses for this particular report, and I primarily use it to measure the current market conditions and where the majority of the money flow is headed. And it was when I was analyzing this particular report that I came across something that nobody was really talking about: the percentage of open interest of hedge funds selling Bitcoin. As of the 16th of February 2021, 76.6% of hedge funds have been selling Bitcoin on the futures market. In essence, they're betting that it's going to crash. Lo and behold, on the 21st of February, 5 days after this data had been released, it drops by 22.37%. And I'm not one to believe in coincidences, especially as nuanced as this. And to add more fuel to the fire, these short positions have been increasing the past few weeks. And if this continues in the weeks ahead, then I'd expect Bitcoin to continue dropping until the hedge funds decide to flip the script. And in actual fact, it may be a scenario not too dissimilar to that of 2017 and 2018, where Bitcoin smashed the $20,000 ceiling and then dropped all the way back down to a few $1,000s over the next year or so before making the rally that we've been witnessing recently. So what does this mean for you and the future of Bitcoin? Well, if you're looking to buy Bitcoin now, you're swimming against the tide. There are institutions with a hell of a lot more money than you betting that it's going to drop over the coming months. Personally, I'm still bullish on Bitcoin, and this information is essentially telling me it's the wrong time to buy more. So the COT report, I believe, is best used as a timing mechanism rather than determining whether if something is valuable to buy or not. That comes from your fundamental analysis of the actual instrument itself that you're trading. Therefore, this info here is signaling to me that I need to wait until the hedge funds switch their sentiment before I continue accumulating more coins. it doesn't mean necessarily I should be selling them and joining them. Why? Because I've done my fundamental analysis and it tells me I should be buying Bitcoin, just not at this particular price. And this is one of the principles I apply to my Forex trading also, using the same report to determine market conditions on the currency market and time my Forex trades. And timing a trade is only useful if you already know what direction you expect it to go based on your value calculations. For crypto, this is a lot harder to do than Forex, as there's simply not just as many reliable reports on Bitcoin available. Whereas in Forex, there are thousands of economic reports, regulatory bodies, research institutes consistently providing reliable data on economic growth and activity that just make it much easier to benchmark the value of currencies. Whereas in crypto, I wish I could say the same. And with that said, I hope I've encouraged you now to look further than Reddit and your local newsfeed for buying and selling decisions on Bitcoin, and we'll start to really just look into the numbers. After all, numbers do not lie, people do. I've put a link in the description where you can find the CFTC report that I've mentioned in this video, so you can keep up your analysis for yourself over the coming weeks. And if you want to access the tool that automatically converts COT report into a cool, easy way to read the chart, looks a bit like this, then I'll put in the link in the description where you can access that also. And if you found any sort of value from this video, why not just drop me a sub and put notifications on? I know I'm doing a little plug there, but as I'm planning to push out more tokens of valuable insights in the future to not only help with your investments, but also provide a clearer view of the world, I think you may just like the content in the coming days. Marcus from Logic Effects, teaching you knowledge that your school should have.